Assalamualaikum, Doctor. So today our group 3, will present our comprehensive case 1 report, and we were given a task to compare between MFRS and MPERS, and we have chosen MFRS 1 to 1, the effects of changes in foreign exchange rate, and MPERS section 30, foreign currency translation. So I will pass to my friend to do a brief introduction.
Hello, my name is Hemadoshni and my metric number is 255780. Today I'll be giving a brief introduction about my group assignment, which is foreign currency transaction. My group assignment will be based on two standards, which is National Financial Reporting Standards, paragraph 21 of MFRS 1 to 1, which explains about the effect of changes of foreign exchange rate, and also mention Private Entity Reporting Standard (MPERS), be based on section 30, which explains foreign currency translation. Okay, as we all know, foreign currency transaction is it's a term that used to describe all the operation like payment, settlement, everything by the business that been conducted in a foreign currency after the company's functional currency. So here I'll be explaining more details about the foreign currency transaction based on the standard, which is first we go on with based on MFRS 1 to 1. Based on MFRS 1 to 1, they have explained that the entity translate its foreign currency items into its functional currency, and they identify the exchange rate. What's the exchange? They identify which exchange rate need to be used, and how they use the exchange rate to recognize it in the financial statement, and also to find out how this exchange rate gives effects on their financial statement. Okay, that's what we see in MFRS. And next is MPERS, based on section 30, MPERS, which is foreign currency translation. Okay, based on MPERS conduct their foreign activities in the two ways, which is their transaction can be in two, which is foreign currency or foreign operations. Like they can present their financial statement in a foreign currency also. So in this section 30, they include foreign currency operation and foreign currency transaction in the financial statement, and how they translate it into a presentation currency. For a presentation currency, they can use any currency that they want, as long it doesn't give a big impact on the financial statement. Okay, for this comprehensive case, we used two companies, which is first is Panasonic Holding Berhad, that is using MFRS to analyze the company's foreign currency transaction. Next is Ranbaxy Malaysia Srinagar Berhad, which use MPERS to conduct their foreign currency transaction. Okay, since they both are operating in Malaysia, so they are using RM as their functional currency. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur Aisha and my matrix number is 257182. Today I would like to talk about theories of the formulations of MFRS and MPERS standard that every company registered under Company Act 1965 needs to adopt with this standard. We know that MFRS is for public companies and MPERS is for private entities. Why every company needs to follow the standard of MFRS and MPERS? First is for benefit of certain parties, such as stakeholders, shareholder, educators, financial analysts, and others. Second is annual report should be prepared transparently, completely, and easily to understand by who need it. Third is annual report is a medium communication between stakeholder and company. When is the effectively date that all public listed company needs to adopt MFRS? Starting in 2005, Malaysia has changed the usage of Malaysia Accounting Standard Board ASB. On January 1st, 2012, all public listed company needs to adopt MFRS. Research about implementing MFRS. First is lead to increased comparability and relevance for information reported in the company's financial statement. And Tan et al. Said that more than 7,000 companies already use the IFRS standards. Second is in order to meet the IFRS objective, this standard address the overall presentations of financial statements such as guidelines, structure and minimum requirement of the financial statement said by Botosan. Third is Barth said that provide financial statement that contain relevant information to enable users to make informed decisions. Next is what types of company that needs to adopt AMPER standard. Previously, I said that it's for private entities companies. When is the effectively date that all private entities needs to adopt AMPER standard? They have a choice of continuing with the existing PERS framework or change to AMPERS framework in the future. On or after January 1st, 2016, they can adopt AMPER standard. Next is what is the aim in adopting AMPER standard? First is guidelines for companies and management companies with no public interest. Second is the pressure of dealing with complex international accounting standard. Third is standard provides the cost basis for determining and measuring the asset and liability. Next is research about why needs to implementing AMPERS. 90%, 99% of the overall industry is roughly small and medium-sized business, which is SME, with a contribution of around 36% to the gross domestic product. That's why we need ample standard because in Malaysia we have a lot of business that in the categories of SME.
Assalamualaikum and hi doctor. My name is Fatin Batrisha binti Shabri, matrix number 257085. I hope you are safe and well, doctor, wherever you are right now. And I'm sorry if you are hearing some type of bunyi because of my laptop. It's kind of overheating. But let's proceed to analysis of standards. I will explain on the measurement. So the first one is functional currency. Functional currency is the main currency that the company have used for its business. And we have found that MFRS 121 and MPER Section 30 have used the same concept to measure. We have chosen two companies for this assignment, which are Pentonic Holdings Berhad that use MFRS 121 and Ramback Simulation Sendirian Berhad that use MPER Section 30. So it has stated in their annual report that both of the companies have used the same functioning currency, which are the Ringgit Malaysia. And any foreign currency shall be measured with the amount of spot exchange rate between functional currency and foreign currency at the date of transaction. So any item that they bought need to be translated to its functional currency, which is the Ringgit Malaysia. So the next one we have carrying amount. So I found that this only apply in the MFRS 121 because it has not stated in MPER Section 30. So first one is follow on standard. So any items that have its standard need to follow their standard, for example PPE, can be measured in fair value or historical cost following MFRS 116 PPE. The second is determined by comparing two or more amounts. For example, MFRS 102 inventories, the lower of cost and net realizable value should be taken to measure the carrying amount of the inventories. And the third one is non-monetary is measured in a foreign currency. Compare cost translated at the exchange rate on its date of transaction and net realizable value translated at the closing rate at the end of reporting period. So this have been provided in MFRS 121, but um, this information has not been used by the Panasonics, so I can't really touch on it too much. So this is one of the difference between MFRS 121 and MPERS Section 13. So next we have goodwill and fair value. So any of goodwill and fair value shall be treated as asset and liabilities of the foreign operation, which shall be translated at closing rate of its financial currency of the foreign operation. So MFRS 121 under para 39 is the same as MPERS Section 30 under para 30.18. So both of them have the same information, which are assets and liabilities presented should be translated at closing rate of financial position statement. Income and expenses presented in profit or loss and other comprehensive income should be translated at exchange rate on transaction date, and other exchange differences should be recognized in other comprehensive income. So this is the similarities that both of the MFRS and MPERS have. But there are additional information on the MFRS 121 under paragraph 42, where the translation can also follow the procedure of all amounts shall be translated at the closing rate at the date of the most recent statement of financial position, except that when amounts are translated into the currency of a non-hyperinflationary economy, comparative amounts shall be those that were presented as current year amounts in the relevant prior year financial statements. So here is the example of Panasonic Holding Berhad that use MFRS 121. It has been stated in their annual report according to the para 42. So because of this additional information is not in the MPERS, so there are no information regarding this in the Ramback Simulator. They have no information about this. So for this one, only Panasonic Holding Berhad that have this information. So I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you, Doctor.
Next is recognition. Um, Exchange differences arising from the settlement or translations of monetary items at rate different from those translated during the period or in the previous financial statement will be recognized in profit or loss in the period in which they arise as stated in MFRS 121 and MPERS 30. According to MFRS 121 paragraph 32, state that exchange differences arising from the monetary item which form part of the net investment reporting entity in a foreign operation shall be recognized in profit or loss in the separate financial statement of the reporting entity or in the individual financial statement or of foreign operations where applicable exchange differences from monetary. For example, foreign operation and reporting entities are listed in the financial statements such as exchange differences occur in the consolidated financial statement where foreign operation subsidiaries should be recognized initially in other comprehensive income and reclassified from equity to profit or loss on the disposal of net investment in compliance with paragraph 48. The similarities in MPERS and MFRS is non-monetary and monetary items in terms of date, which it need to be translated at the end of the transaction. As you can see, the Panasonic Holding Berhad and Rambaxi has similarities in non-monetary and monetary items in terms of date. Uh, we can look at this monetary asset and liabilities denominated in foreign currencies at the end of the reporting period are retranslated to the functional currency at the exchange rate at that date. It seems right. Non-monetary asset and liability denominated in foreign currencies are not retranslated at the end of the reporting data, except for those that are measured at fair value or retranslated to the functional currency at the exchange rate at the date that the fair value was determined. It seems right. So, between this company, it doesn't have so much different in non-monetary and monetary items.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzati binti Abdul Rahim. So, I will continue the presentations regarding the analysis of standard on how the MFRS 121 and MPERS Section 30 disclosure. So, the MFRS 121 and Section 30 in disclosure that has equal similarities and differences. So the similarities of both standards, first one is functional currency. The functional currency, so how the functional currency disclose the entity using the concept of functional currency to measure the result of financial position. The functional currency of Malaysian entity not necessarily the local currency, as it depends on the primary economic environment in which the entities operate. The second one is recognized in profit or loss. So, the functional currency of a Malaysian entity not necessarily local currency. It depends on the primary economic environment in which the entities operate. So the net exchange differences recognized in other comprehensive income and accumulated in separate components of equity and reconciliation of such exchange differences at the beginning and end of the period. So this is where I can prove that both of the companies that we chosen comply with the standards So as for this is where I can prove that both of the company that my group choose is comply with the standards. So this is can shows that when the Panasonic Holding Berhad is comply with the MFRS 121 and how they disclose the amount, and also the run back simulation Senior Berhad comply with the standards MPERS Section 30 on how they disclose the amounts of foreign currency. So, as for these two standards, both companies disclose the amount using functional currency of ringgit nations in their annual report. And both of these companies disclose the foreign currency amount in profit or loss. So, this is the Panasonic Holdings Berhad's annual report. The Panasonic Holdings Berhad clearly stated that in their notes to the financial statements that the foreign currency differences on retranslation are recognized in profit or loss. So, the amount of the recognition is clearly stated in the statement of others comprehensive income. So it is under the profit before tax, and which the amount of the foreign exchange is 940220. So the second one is the run back simulation Berhad. The run back simulation Berhad also states that in their basic statements that the foreign currency differences arising on retranslations are recognized in profit or loss. So they also has clearly stated the amount of foreign exchange either realized or unrealized in their statement comprehensive income, where and recognize it under the profit. The run-back simulation Berhad also clearly states that the foreign currency differences arising on retranslation are recognized in profit or loss. So under this, the run-back also clearly states the amount in their annual reports under the statement comprehensive income. Is either realized or unrealized on foreign exchange, it must be recognized in profit or loss. So what I can say just now is the MFRS 121 and ample section 30, the standards does not difference much between each other. So okay, I will continue with the differences that are difference between the MFRS 121 and also ample section 30. So entities will display its financial statement that is different from either its presentation's currency, and the requirement of paragraph 55 are not met. It shall clearly identify the information as supplementary information to distinguish it from the information that comply with MFRS. Disclose the currency in which the supplementary information is displayed, and disclose the entity functional currency and the method of translation used to determine the supplementary information. So the second differences is the treatment on disposal of foreign operations. The treatment on dispose of foreign operation is only applicable for the MFRS 121 and is thus not applicable or valid in the amper section 30. So this is according to must be 6, where there is the change in classification of significant foreign operation, and enterprise shall disclose the nature of the change in classification, the reason for the change, the impact for the change in reclassification of shareholders' equities, and the impact on net profit or loss for each period presented, had the change in classification occur at the beginning or the earliest period presented. So this is the proof that the Panasonic Holdings Berhad dispose of a foreign operations. So it's under the notes to the financial statements operations denominated in functional currency other than ringgit Malaysia. So if the foreign operation is not non-wholly subsidiary, the relevant proportionate share of the translation difference is allocated to the non-controlling interest. When a foreign operation is disposed of such that control, significant influence or joint control is lost, the cumulative amount in the foreign currency translation reserve to that foreign operation is will reclassified to profit or loss as part of the gain or loss on disposal. So, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Monica Fazwa. I will continue the video. Recommendation and suggestion. First, use the concept of reporting currency for translation of foreign currency transaction and operation. Whereas, MPRF and MFIRS use the concept of functional currency for measure the result and financial position, and the presentation currency for presentation of financial statement. These are fundamentally different concepts because the starting point and the application of this area in MPRS or MFIRS is for an entity to identify its functional currency for measurement purpose. The functional currency is not necessarily the local currency. In first, Two mutually exclusive transaction methods are prescribed depending on whether the foreign operation is an integral operation or is a foreign entity. Under the functional currency concept used in MPRS and MFERS, there is only one classification of foreign operation because an integral operation in first would automatically have the same functional currency of the reporting entity. For disposal of foreign entity, first requires the cumulative exchange reserve related to the foreign entity must be recycled to profit or loss. For transaction of foreign currency transaction, first differs with MPRS and MPERS in many treatments. For the first one is the use of contracted or forward rate for an unsettled monetary item that has a related matching forward contract. The next one is the hedging of net investment in a foreign entity, allowing exchange difference arise on a recent acquisition of an asset to be included in the carrying amount of the asset if there is no practical means of hedging. For the last one is a choice of treating goodwill and fair value adjustment as asset and liabilities of the foreign entity and the translated at closing rate or as asset and liabilities of the reporting entity and translated at the historical rate. Conclusion, according to MASB 6, currency use the concept of reporting currency for the transaction of foreign currency transaction operation. And a foreign operation is classified as either an integral operation or foreign entity, depending on facts and circumstances. For integral operation, the transaction method is a mix of closing rates and historical rates with exchange difference recorded in profit or loss. As for the MPRS section 30, the requirements are similar to MPRS 121. The functional currency of a Malaysian entity is not necessarily the local currency as it depends on the primary economic environment in which the entity operates. And on disposal of operates, the gain or loss is the difference between the process and its carrying amount at the date of disposal. And MPRS 121 the same requires as described for MPRS, except for the treatment on disposal of operates operation. Okay, that's all from me. Sorry for any mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.